wondering what's the difference between eBay dropshipping and Shopify dropshipping. And there are a lot of videos on YouTube talking about eBay dropshipping and Shopify dropshipping, more about Shopify than eBay, and some of the influencers online compare the two. But in this video, I have an actual experience dropshipping on Shopify for over a year. I've been dropshipping on eBay for more than 10 years, and he's now dropshipping on eBay. So we're going to compare eBay dropshipping to Shopify dropshipping, the advantages, if you should be doing one or the other. So like, subscribe. My name is Marc Augustine. Previously, I've been dropshipping on eBay for a very long time. I've dropshipped on eBay, Amazon, Facebook, Walmart, and TikTok. I did a little bit of Shopify, I want to say like 8-9 years ago. My goal with this channel is to help you guys who are watching us on YouTube make money online before you pay us any money, right? So that's who I am. So Joran, you want to introduce yourself really quickly?
Hello everyone, my name is Joran. I've been dropshipping since May last year. Started out in Shopify, did it for about a year, and then I quit and then I joined dropshipping on eBay. As Shopify comes with a completely different set of challenges than eBay dropshipping does. And in some ways they're comparable, but we're like about to compare them right now in this video. So.
All right, and one of the reasons why I want to do this video is because I did a video with Ronnie, who's an Ecom Sniper member, a few weeks ago, and he had made $3,000 on eBay. And one of the things he said was that one of his goals is to make cash flow with eBay, to spend the money to build out Shopify stores, right? And I understand those of you guys who don't know, one of the biggest differences is that eBay in my opinion, is a better cash flow business than Shopify. But I hope Ronnie watches this video and makes some. In the video, I told him don't do it, but hopefully we could figure out. So let's start there. What do you think about that, Joran? So you're making money on eBay. You're currently making money on eBay, right? Like you've sold on Shopify before. How much money did you sell in Shopify in a year?
Okay, so when I started with Shopify, things can move once you find a good product and a good way, and you start to understand how to market and create ads and copywriting. It comes with a lot of different skills, essentially running a Shopify store, which takes a longer time to build up. And I think I did around in the end around 100K in revenue over a year, but that's not really a year because I think that's more like 9 months or something. Yeah, something about that.
Okay, so the first thing you said is that it takes different skills to run a Shopify store compared to run an eBay store, right?
Yes.
Like when I use ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said that like on Shopify, you have to focus on building funnels and a brand when eBay is just listing. But you're talking about different skills, they kind of mindset. What do you think is the actual, like how long did it take you to learn the skills for Shopify, and what are those skills?
Okay, so when I started with Shopify, I think I was probably putting in like
and what year is this? Because over the years it's
last
changed.
Year. This is last year, so 2024. Yeah. Right. So last year I started in May, and I was putting in around 14 to 18 hours a day in like just learning how to start with Shopify, right? From understanding how to build a proper website, from how you need your website to look to optimize conversion, and then understanding how to understand Shopify as a platform, right? And understanding different templates you're going to be using to build your store upon. There's a lot out there. It's about optimizing the one you're going to use, and that just takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time to then build out the store. It takes a lot of time, especially if you're going to do it without any help, then for a long time before you're even gonna launch in the first place. And that's just building the store part. Once you've built the store,
So wait, you said 14 to 18 hours a day. For how many days do you think it took you to learn the building the store part?
So I think I remember that when I was building the store, mind me, I was following coaching, right? So I had like the whole plan laid out for me.
Right.
Before I thought my website was looking good, everything was set up. That took me 3 days of 14 to 18 hours around that before basically then I had my website done. And then the next thing that I did was, it would take me approximately the same time to make my first ads. It would also take 14 to 18 hours plus launch them on Facebook to understand that stuff. And that's like the majority. That's the majority of the time. I think creating the ads and then script writing was also around that time. Like maybe it was a little bit less.
Creating the what script?
Yeah, because when you run ads and when you run paid ads, you'll have to have a script, right? You need to write a script, and your script needs to follow a certain setup
Right.
that attacks pain points, and like there's a whole way, there's a way a script should be set up for it to be converting people to clicks, and you should be addressing many different things within it, like 8 different things, and you can basically set them up all in a different way. In the end, like you can start with, I don't know, like you can. It's a bit complicated, to just like to explain that like this. But yeah, it just takes a lot of time to learn, and then because you're just learning, you don't really know how to do it yet. So, and that was with me spending a lot of time on it, and having coaching, and having basically a whole plan that I should follow. So if you don't have that and you have to figure it out all yourself, it's going to take you a lot more time, like a lot more time. The benefit, what I think is of having coaching in that sense is that you're buying time, right? Like you're buying time, because the knowledge is out there. All the knowledge for creating a store, script writing, you can all find it on YouTube if you really search for it. But then finding the good ones and the relevant ones it's not easy.
Right, because most of it is nonsense. Okay, so you spent a little over a week learning, and then how long did you spend testing and executing, and how much like is there money difference?
Yeah, so actually one thing I just remembered that I forgot to do is like what took a long time is finding items that are suitable to sell, right? Because you can't just sell everything. It's about product research. One of the requirements like we had, for example, was that you should be paying, let's say an item costs 10 euros, you want to sell for at least 30 or at least 40. So you have you have enough margin to run ads. So and then you want to find verified items, right? One of the things we did was we do research. You can do it in so many ways, which you also have to learn, and then you can search by amount of volume that their website gets. Then you can calculate approximately how much money they're making from that, because like a certain amount of people always convert, right? And then a certain percentage. Plus, I made a list because we made a list of 100 products, right? Made a list of 100 products that I could potentially sell, which I thought was a fit. And then afterwards, only maybe 10 of them were like maybe a suitable fit to actually test. Maybe it was even 5. I don't remember. Maybe it was 5 of the 100, which is also a skill on itself, right? That also
Right.
that also took like multiple days to, because like that's you don't know what you're doing in the start, so it's actually quite hard.
Okay, so those are the list of skills that you had to go through to learn to build Shopify, right? Now, when I did Shopify, like I ran one Shopify store, I want to say like 8, 9 years ago. And what we did is we targeted like a niche. So I was selling stuff to people who liked Akita, the type of dog, but most of the traffic was through like building a Facebook group, and you could build Facebook groups really fast back in the day. And even if you ran ads to the Facebook group, you have all these people that like this nonsense, and then you build like a community around this stuff, right? So it's still a lot of stuff you had to learn to like make any money in Shopify. So guys, if you're watching this, I'll put a link to to the last video I've done with Joran, where we talk specifically more about eBay. But what are some of the skills, in your opinion, as someone new into eBay, that you had to learn, and how long did it take?
Someone new into eBay, right?
Yeah.
I think the biggest hurdle is just understanding the software, knowing how to use it, and getting familiar with it is something that's the only thing that is maybe a little bit hard in the start. It can be an overwhelming amount of information. But besides that, I don't think anything is necessarily complicated. I think you will learn it as you go, and as long as you're not afraid to ask questions, and you're not afraid to ask for help when you need it, and actually put in the hourly work, then you're gonna understand it. Over time, you're gonna understand how everything works. It just works like that. You don't need to be smart. You don't need to be tech savvy. You don't need to have any Shopify experience. Like, I'm not using any of my skills that I got from Shopify, honestly. Maybe a tiny bit, maybe like 5%, maybe.
Right.
But
So it's
besides that,
completely different.
I
There's
think it's
no
completely
overlap,
different.
really.
And zero overlappery. Yeah, zero. I mean, not zero. Like there's some things that like regarding the templates and stuff that you can create, I think you can utilize like some of the stuff that I had from Shopify, right? Or your banner on your store and like these small little things, right? Besides that, a lot of the things that like I would learn from Shopify also already included in Ecom Sniper itself, which you don't have to do anything for, right? It's already
Right.
like you just have to follow the steps.
Okay, and for guys like Ronnie and Jonathan, and I'm not sure if Jonathan is, I think Jonathan is one of them. But for guys who want to go from eBay dropshipping to Shopify, what would you tell them?
I mean, initially I wanted to do that as myself, right?
Mhm.
I mean, you just need to be prepared. You could do it, right? I think it's not I think it's a like a decent way of approaching like wanting cash flow and then using it for Shopify because you can like obviously make a lot of money from Shopify dropshipping. You just need to be prepared to spend a lot more time on your Shopify, but a lot more. Like that will be a full-time job on its own. Like having your own store, if you're going to be the one creating the ad script, writing the scripts, creating the websites, building out the offers, like everything that comes to it, it's a full-time job, and you just need to be prepared to lose a lot of money before you're going to be successful. Like your first product is not going to be successful. Your second product, it's not going to be successful. I know people that were not having a successful product after testing 30 different ones, right? So, and they will all cost money. They will all cost ad spend. So before doing that, you will need at least 5 to 10K that you can just throw away before you see any success. That's what I think, and then you're not bound to have success. So it's a high risk, high reward, and yeah, that's why I like eBay dropshipping because it's low risk, high reward.
Right.
I mean, the reward might not be as high as Shopify because, well, the amount you can make with Shopify, but it's low risk, and I guess medium reward would be the right way to look at it. And I think it's only gonna grow in the future. I think the software is only gonna go into a direction where people are gonna make more money from it. So
Yeah, because of some of the automation. All right,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But when you were doing Shopify, right? There's one thing that some people talk about when it comes to like Shopify is a big part of it is about building a brand that you may be able to sell, and then eBay's cash flow, right? I think selling these Shopify stores are not as common as people say, depending on the supply chain that you use. Is there an actual advantage of building an asset on Shopify compared to not building an asset on eBay? Or does it not really actually work like that?
I mean, how people tend to do it is when you're testing your product, right? And you initially you can do with certain ways with AI, with mostly using AI with imaging, you can already make your product look branded from the get-go, even though it's not. So, which then creates
I didn't
more
even
of a
think about that. That's a huge difference that you guys would be doing, like the Shopify dropshippers would be doing now as opposed to 8 years ago. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, so I mean that's like a way to do it, right? Which will create more trust. Your brand looks more established. You will not look like any other dropshipper. Basically, you'll just more look like a brand. So just to build trust, like that will create your conversion rate, like let's say, right, or the amount of clicks that you have on your ads. The thing is, like people start stores for different reasons, right? Which one of them is to exit them, right, to be able to sell them after like being successful with them.
Right.
Um, and which eventually step is to build it into a brand. Like you don't start as a brand because like doing custom packaging design, custom like ads, hiring people to create your ads, it's all costing more money. And before you can do
Right.
that, you need to have more money. So, and you don't want to take that risk straight away. So it's a process like that. And you can do both. Like eBay, you don't not really running your own brand. You're just running your own general store.
Right.
It's which was a thing that used to be very popular in Shopify, and it still is to a certain extent when it comes to fashion. There's a lot of general fashion stores that still are very successful.
Mm.
Dropshipping eBay it's like having your own general store within eBay without paid ads. That's it.
Right. Yeah, I guess there's no preference, right? It's just what you decide to, your road you decide to go down. Now, what is the difference between when you're dealing with refunds and returns on Shopify? Do you think you tend to get more chargebacks on that side? And is it harder to deal with returns or no?
It depends where you're from, because I did it in the Netherlands mostly. You don't really have chargebacks because people don't pay with credit card. I know when it comes to United States, people do have chargebacks. I'm not sure. I think it depends on the quality of your product. Like that's just it.
Right.
Like if your product is quality, you won't get chargebacks. If your item's delivered, you won't get chargeback. If you're selling some bullshit, then yeah, then you're gonna get chargebacks, and you're gonna like Shopify's not gonna like it. You'll get payment holds. Like that's Shopify also has many problems that come with it, which eBay doesn't have. So eBay has its own set of problems, which you're tackling as well. Shopify can be a lot more can be also quite difficult like that.
And I think my last thing I wanted to ask specifically, what's the difference between the customer service in Shopify compared to eBay? I know in Shopify, those are your customers, so you could retarget them. But how, and eBay is like eBay's customers, but what does the actual customer service look like?
I mean, how it often looks like is when someone, so you have different type of flows set up basically. So when someone purchases your item, they will be sent an email straight away with thank you for your order. Your item will be delivered in, I don't know, 2 to 7 days, right? Then because they're already on your email list, like whenever you're running on some sort of like discount, you can like later give them another 10% discount. It's all just email. Everything is email marketing basically, by keeping people updated on your product, giving them good offers, and then when people have like want to return the item, I mean, you're just having an email, right? And you'll just have to sort that like that. You will either refund them, they will return I mean, most of them it will just be a refund because you're going to be drop shipping from China, right? And you can't send items back, so you won't actually get your money back. So yeah, which sucks because there will be a double loss because you paid for the item from the Chinese supplier, plus you're gonna have to send the item back, right? So you're gonna have to give them their money back, plus you paid for the item, which is that sucks, yeah, when it happens.
Right. Okay. But compared to, is it more customer service compared to eBay or less? Or just
I'd say
different?
I'd say less. If you have a good quality product, you will have less.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because eBay, you're selling a wide variety of items.
Yeah, so sometimes you don't know the quality of your item, which means you'll get like returns or like item not received cases. Like people tend to ask more questions, I feel like. But overall, I think there's not that big of a difference. People have to be aware when you're starting on Shopify dropshipping, you will run into different types of problems, like getting Facebook banned from running ads, getting Shopify holds because because of a certain amount of chargebacks, right? Especially if you run in the USA.
Right.
Yeah, these type of things, which are not really spoken about much until you're actually doing it, but they're a real thing. I experienced getting my payments blocked on Shopify for like a month or two, which was like absolutely disgusting because like then I couldn't, like, I don't have zero cash flow.
Right.
And it was for no reason, and I experienced getting my Facebook account also blocked, right? So then suddenly your ads, you just can't run ads anymore. So then
Wow.
you have so then you will have because in Shopify you use on Facebook you use a pixel basically,
Right.
which then if your account gets banned, you can't really use it anymore on your new Facebook ads account. Which, by the way, you are not allowed to run it on any of your parents' identities. So if they find out, you also get blocked. And then you will have to run through an agency account, which will cost you around 200 euros a month extra. So which is possible, right? And they're good accounts, but they will cost you an extra monthly a monthly amount. And this will eventually happen to everyone who does Shopify dropshipping. Your account will get blocked eventually. That's just Facebook, unfortunately. They have certain
Wow.
policies you need to follow, and they have certain rules you need to follow. And if you make the mistake of not following them, even if it's not intentional, like an example is you will show a person that's relatively overweight and you will show some skin, for example, or you will imply that they're overweight, they will shut down your ad account. They will. Like they have they're
Wow.
very strict. Like there's certain rules you need to follow, and if you don't, then you will get punished. Yeah.
Wow. So, dude, I've learned some of the basic things you talk about. Like I've learned a lot about Shopify in this video. I didn't expect you to go into to that much detail. So, wow. Okay. So guys, if you're watching this video, like and subscribe. This is just the first video that we covered with Shopify versus eBay dropshipping. If you want us to cover this topic, like go into more detail on any one of the specific subtopics, let us know in the comment section. Also, I'll put a link to both myself and Joran's calendar if you want help with eBay dropshipping or Shopify dropshipping or any questions. You can schedule a free call with either one of us, which is only going to be here for a limited time. And there's a free community in the description as well. So like, subscribe. From this video, you guys would have gotten some idea. If you're considering doing Shopify dropshipping or eBay dropshipping, you would get some in-depth information on how to make that decision. My personal opinion is that eBay dropshipping is one of the lowest risk businesses you can start online. And there's a real upside, a community of successful people. So I suggest that if you're watching this and you want to make money online, to start dropshipping on eBay right away. If you want to Shopify, you can, right? But as Joran suggested, you might want to be ready to have $5,000 to $10,000 to risk that you're not going to get back until the store is profitable. So you want to say one thing before we go to the guys watching Joran? I'll also put a link to Joran's YouTube channel, so you guys can check this out. But anything else, Joran?
Yeah, so if you have any questions, you can always reach out, comment, write, book a call. We're always happy to hear you out and see what you're interested in. And yeah, we are here for you guys, making these videos for you guys. So yeah, thank you so much for watching.
Okay, guys, have a good one. And half of you guys are not subscribed, so subscribe to the channel. Peace.